Hey, it is John with My Low Carb Coach going live here on YouTube and probably stream this into Facebook. And here's the thing, if you are trying to lose 50 or more pounds of weight, then listen up because here's a big one for you. And you may have heard this before, but it's not always going to be easy. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to be committed. Okay. You're going to have to show up and have some commitment because at some point, while you're trying to lose weight, while you're trying to transition yourself, the person that you are now, to the person that you want to be at some point, you're going to have to really fall back on what you promised yourself you're going to do, and that is see it through, because there's no giving 70% commitment. Who wants 70% commitment? If you're in a relationship with somebody and they're like, hey, yeah, I'd like to go out with you, I'll be 70% committed to you. What kind of relationship is that? If you're committed to learning how to drive a car, or let's put it this way, if your neighbor is committed to like learning how to drive a car, about 80% committed, would you want to be driving on the road with the person who's 80% committed to being able to drive a car? Probably not, right? So, why would it be any different with our goals for losing weight? If our goal for losing weight is to be healthier, to live a longer life, to have more energy, to not feel pain when you walk to the car, maybe you can run around with your grandkids or something like that, or children, whatever it might be. Okay. Do perform better at work, whatever your reason is for losing weight, getting healthier. Okay. Is going to take a certain amount of commitment. So that doesn't mean that you're going to have to give up everything that you like and want to eat in your life forever. Listen, everybody's life is a little bit different. Okay. And everybody's reasons for losing weight is a little bit different. I wanted to lose weight because, well, I wanted more energy. I was tired of like waking up in the morning, and I would do a little bit of work like on the computer or something. And by 11 o'clock in the morning, I was ready for a nap. 11 o'clock in the morning, ready for a nap. That's just not right. Right? Would you agree with me? And maybe that is something that you've noticed yourself. Maybe before the morning is even over, you're already feeling tired. You're like, why is that? I also, I had other reasons for losing weight, but everybody has their own reason. And here's the thing is that at some point you're going to have to realize that a price has to be paid in some kind of way. Okay. A price has to be paid. What is that price? For everybody, it's a little different. That might be maybe you can't go out to eat and eat all those wonderful, flavorful foods that you were eating before, like desserts or some kind of appetizers or something. Now, you can still find things that are healthy to eat, right? I mean, I can think of a lot of things that are healthy to eat, conducive of losing weight, having more energy, uh, good steak, some nice vegetables. Maybe you get a sweet potato instead of the French fries, right? Maybe we don't over consume on some of the foods, but maybe we have a little bit. There's a lot of things that we can do. What we don't want to do is not be committed to it. Because if we're not committed to making the right choices, then that means we're going to be committed sometimes. And usually that's when our energy levels or our positivity is up, when we're not in a rut or something, right? When we're happy, when things are going great. But let's face it, I think we all know in this world, that's not how life goes, right? You're good a little while, and then something happens, and maybe it's a little bit not so good. And what do you do in those not so good areas? You got to remind yourself that you are committed to making this happen, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Okay. And a price has to be paid for that to happen. A price has to be paid for anything that you want to do to improve yourself in any way. And let's just say that's money, your bank account. If your bank account is not where you want it to be, what do you got to do? A small price has to be paid, right? What's the price? It depends on what you're doing. Maybe the price is a little bit less time with your family because you have to go get a second job. Or maybe it's you can't go out to eat all the time. Or maybe you don't get to go on that vacation this year because you know what? You really need to pay off that credit card so that you can just pay your bills. A price has to be paid for whatever it is that you're trying to do and improve in your life. Okay. And when it comes to anything, you need consistency. You need consistency, and you get the consistency by being committed to it. Here's the good news. The good news is it gets easier. Okay. Just like driving a car. When you first started driving a car, it probably wasn't the easiest thing in the world. And if you don't drive a car, maybe you ride a bike. It's not easy in the beginning. Okay, I'll hold the wheel like this, look in the mirrors, check here. How hard do I push on the brake? How hard do I push on the gas? Do you ever think about those things anymore? Do you think about how hard to push on the brake every time you push on the brake? No, it comes naturally, right? But in the beginning, you did. And in the beginning, while we are trying to lose weight, in the beginning, while I am coaching somebody through the weight loss process, it is going to be a little bit hard on the change. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But the good news is it gets easier as long as you keep doing it. Take one step in front of the other. And when that commitment, when that motivation starts to go down, this is why it's important to know what to fall back on. You fall back on, I promised myself this, that I'm going to do this for myself. And you fall back on your little journal thing that if you're a client of mine, I'm going to have you write down and do. And that is understand your why, know what it is that you're doing, understand where you're going, and understand who that person is that you are in the future that you're trying to become. What do those people, what does that person do? How do they think? How do they feel? What would they say to themselves that they're going to eat for that next meal if you're faced at it with this meal right now and you're like, you know what? I don't really feel like eating that right now. I'm just gonna have the ice cream. I'm just gonna have the cookie or something. What would the you 4 years from now, who's got all the health, the perfect weight that you like, that you think that you want, what's the choice that they would make? Okay. Because you can make that same choice, but it's up to you. And you got to be committed and be committed to it until what? Until it becomes habit, until it becomes the normal thing that you do. And when it becomes the normal thing that you do and it becomes easier, here's the beauty. That's when you get to stack on that next level of something that you want to improve upon yourself to get better. It might be eating more vegetables. That might be getting, instead of 5,000 steps a day, you do 10,000 steps a day. But you're not doing it all at once. Because if you try doing everything all at once, what's going to happen? You're going to get frustrated and overwhelmed, most likely. So we stay committed by not overcommitting to something that we just cannot possibly do because it's too much. It's too much of a change. So my challenge for you is this today. Commit to something, okay? Find something that is along the lines of what you want to do. Write it down. Don't make it way too challenging, but make it enough where it's a little bit uncomfortable and commit yourself to it. Commit. If you want to commit for 30 days on something, fine, commit to 30 days on something. But really, you should be committing to life, right? Because we want lifelong weight loss. We don't want a beginning and end. Okay. That's why you might not go on a diet. If you go on a diet, that implies there's a beginning and there's an end. When do I get to end the diet? Guess what? Newsflash, never, right? It's not what we want. We want to just eat a nice, healthy lifestyle, one that you can live with and one that you can be committed to. All right. So, what are you committed to? What are you going to commit to? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know.